Hey,
Hey, welcome to the Bad Samaritans Podcast. Here with your host Samuel and Chava.
what it
What's good, bro?
do?
How you doing?
5-0, baby. It's
You five
crazy.
and zero, man. How's
Holy
that
shit.
feel? Whoa, language.
Well, it feels great. This 5-0 feels a little bit different than our 5-0 in the past that we've shared back in what was that, 2019?
Yep. Why is it? What's different about it?
Well, I feel 2019 I was definitely more on top of the world because we went from being horrible to great. And now we're just great, and we've been good for a while, and so this is almost like an expected 5-0. You know, it
That's
feels
a good
like
point. Let's dive into that. I think like as teams grow, there's definitely a different personalities that they take on, and kind of what I think the 19 team that was kind of like
it was a
they were
rebuild.
early, like they were young
Yeah.
and they kind of like struck gold and they're really getting after it and then they took us all the way to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
How would you characterize the personality of this team?
This team is I want to just say mature. That's what it feels like. It feels like a well seasoned football team. You know, I feel like we're exactly where we are supposed to be.
Yeah, I think I would use the word professional. Like it
Yeah.
feels very, despite having a pretty young quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
I think in his actual first full season as a starter, like this guy is like he doesn't seem like a rookie out there to me, man. Like he's making the right throws. The team just has a certain level of professionalism to it in terms of just like I don't see a lot of mental mistakes. There's for
Mm-mm.
sure some misses, but like I don't like I think I saw there was this part where Ken Law was kind of getting into it with some of the Cowboy players, and Fred just pulled him aside and trying to kind of rein him in, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
very mature, just very professional, and I think this team, man, like barring an injury, I think we got a real opportunity out here to bring it home. I definitely think this is the best team in football right now. But I want to get your thoughts on how did you feel the offense did?
Dude, offensively, this might if Shanahan passed away tomorrow, I hope they play this game's highlights as his offensive, eulogy because I feel like this is the best game he's ever like drawn up. I feel everybody's firing on all cylinders. Brock, the run game, Kittle, Ayuk, everybody's just, doing their job as good as they can and it's running super smooth. How do you feel?
I mean, on the topic of Brock, I was looking up some sexy stats, and in this past game, he drops 42, or the team puts up 42. And let me just read you some of the numbers, right? And I think the low point here is going to be a game you'll probably guess, but 42, 35, 30, 30, 30,
Jeez.
7, 19, 41, 38, 37, 37, 21, 35, 33.
Jesus,
Can you
man.
guess what that 7 point game was?
Was it the game that McCaffrey had 5 touchdowns?
No, man. These are total points from the team going back to last season.
Oh, then 7 point. I don't even know. What would that be? 2000 Brian Hoyer
That was the
days?
Eagles game.
Oh, the
No,
Eagles.
that was the Eagles game.
Oh, damn.
These are all the points scored while Brock Purdy has
He
played.
scored more than 7 against when McCaffrey dropped 5 touchdowns. What week is that? Week 2? Yeah,
This is the team collectively. These are total team output,
that's
not just Brock.
crazy.
Yeah. So my point being that we're averaging at a high clip, and this season I think you and I were talking offline, and it just feels like we're finding our groove, and we just picked up right where we left off. The team didn't mess around. They got the off season, got healthy, and this team is just firing, man. I mean, but Brock's been fantastic. What are we gonna say about Kittle, man? 3 touchdowns. The online trolling. Michael Parsons calling this personal. I mean, if getting 42 dropped on your head and having the starters pulled in the fourth like wasn't personal, then I don't know what sport you're playing.
Dude, man, starting with Kittle, Jesus, man. I know he might not be on like some record-breaking pace as he was before, but that's because when we needed him, he was like a liability, you know? Like he was our only like availability. He was our number one target. He was gonna break a like tight end record. He was that guy. But right now, like this is exactly how I want us to use our tight end. He's been blocking out of his mind. He's been getting open in those routes. You know, like this season he might he's going for Travis Kelce's head again. You know, previously in the past couple years, Travis Kelce's kind of pulled away with the Super Bowl wins and just like the output of his style of tight end. But George Kittle is playing out of his mind this season, and I'm really happy to see it.
Yeah, Kelsey to me feels kind of like just like a bigger wide receiver. He's not really in there blocking like Kittle is.
Yeah,
Kittle to me is like a complete tight end. I think what I'm seeing here is kind of Gronk level, peakness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to what you said earlier, now that the passing protection has gotten a lot better, and that the run game is pretty unstoppable right now, I think it's really unlocked Kittle's potential. And him in that T-shirt, man, I think that's a great callback. I think we were all feeling it. Respect to him for doing it. I think the league's talking about finding him $10,000.
Whatever.
I think the fans can spin up a GoFundMe, and then we'll help cover that, George. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have that guy on the team, man. And he's just a cool personality everywhere you see him. And I can tell the guy's having a great time out there. And it's I'm glad that we've had an embarrassment of riches of the tight end position, at least during my lifetime. But how are you feeling about CMC, man? Are they targeting my guy?
Yeah, they're for sure. Something's going on. Definitely with CMC. I feel Kyle. I think the league or teams know that Kyle's going to use his kid a lot, and he's not just like a specialty back where we need you out of this play. He's really in there getting really good minutes, and he's just beating people up. And I think when like Marshawn said, like when you run through people's faces so many times, like you can't take that all game, and some people take those frustrations out on them, and hit him in the helmet, or just try to land on him and do some dirty stuff. But I don't think he cares. I think this guy is giving me like Ronnie Lott vibes. Like he'd do anything for this team, which is crazy. He'd cut like a pinky toe off. He's out there. I have no doubt that CMC really, really like wants to play on our team and really loves us, or loves the team enough to like want to win, because this guy's probably tired of losing, and it's showing in his running. He's angry. He's just bowling through people. Sometimes he bounces off, and again he's a little back, but I like what he's doing, and I have no huge complaints. I think Kyle's doing a good job of his usage these last couple weeks, and he's getting touchdowns. Can't complain.
Yeah, man. I'm really thankful. A couple episodes ago, we're talking about, hey, we need a platoon. We can't have CMC run the rock. The league is clearly targeting him, and this isn't just us. I know we're big 49er fans, and this is probably the Homer podcast, but in the Cardinals game, there's 2 fines of $35,000 that were levied against the Cardinals players against head-to-head hits against Christian McCaffrey, and we should be expecting another 2 fines that should be coming out of this game against Wilson for the face and the helmet-to-helmet hit on Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
It's just kind of dirty, man. It's not cool. I think you talked about it last time too. They were doing this to Debo last season. Whether it's trying to hit him, pull his leg, hurt him. It's just that Saints kind of bounty gate type of stuff out here, and it's just dirty. Like the game's already tough enough. Like play it straight up. Be a man about it. I hate you talk about his size. CMC's not a super small guy. He's still 200 pounds. I think JP Mason's got 20 pounds on him, and it shows, man. But I think his toughness is unquestioned. I think that his draft or trade grade to us was supposed to be like a C- because of injury. And if they keep targeting my guy, like he might get injured. But aside from that, man, this guy I think has not only like he's over delivered. He wasn't under promise, but he was definitely hyped, and he's not overhyped. He has just over delivered on his already exceedingly high hype. I think Christian McCaffrey has fully unlocked Kyle Shanahan's offense, and I'm seeing it with the passing game. I'm seeing it with George Kittle and Juszczyk on these spirit moves for the block. How incredibly wide open Brandon Ayuk is getting. How tough and rested Debo looks when he gets those handoffs and those pitches. And just the ability to then pull him out and then put in a guy in like JP Mason. For those of you at home tracking our sexy stats, is 10 carries for 69 yards. Oh, yeah. That's
Ooh.
6.9 yards a carry and a touchdown. We've been talking about it all off season. I told you this last couple of days. You know what? If Elijah Mitchell is hurt, let's put him on IR, man. I like the guy. He obviously needs time to heal. I wish the cap and the roster stuff moves better because I think Elijah Mitchell needs a full year of no football to just fully recover,
Yeah,
right?
I think so
Like
too.
let us stash him, let him get healthy. You know, there's been so many players that we've had like that are great backs that unfortunately due to injury can't see the field. Let Eli rest. Feed JP Mason. All right. Give this guy the ball.
Dude,
He looks great. He gives us that nice in between the guard, like run ability. It switches up the pace, and when he hits defenders, he doesn't bounce back, bro. He's big.
through
He's
them.
thick.
He goes
Let him
through.
in.
Now, I love JP. He's a we've been crying for this for weeks and weeks and weeks. We saw it in the preseason. We see the number that he's wearing on his back. We see the dreads poking through. We're like, man, is this guy Niner Marshawn? Like, this guy's running crazy. And he's not as shifty as that. I'm not gonna put him like up there like that or compare, but he's performing at a high level for being, a rookie guy. What is he, undrafted? I'm pretty sure he's
Man,
a
that's a good question. I think he was undrafted.
I'm pretty sure
I
he's an
think we picked him
undrafted
up.
guy. But I think then this is another Niner like running back again who's just exceeding at a high level. We talk about Matt Breida who's on another team and he's starting. We're talking about Raheem Mostert. Like these guys are Bobby Turner, whoever the heck is picking these running backs. They know what they like. They like what they see. We love what we see from J.P. Mason, and my only complaint is show me more. Give me more. Give me him. When we don't pull the starters, like I want to see him in the mix. I want to see him getting down and dirty and, getting in the red zone if he can. If McCaffrey's not feeling it or he's got an ankle, I don't want to push. If McCaffrey's not gold, we put in Mason. But
Yeah, man. I think I confirmed it. He was undrafted in 2022.
yeah,
We were talking about TDP. If he's not healthy, what's going on with him, where he can't catch. We got to figure out what's going on with him just to make sure that depth is locked up.
yeah,
Cut our losses if it's not going to work, and then move on from there. Because we JP Mason can ball. We're going to need depth. This is October. We are 5-0. That's fantastic. But there's no trophies given out at the end of this month.
nope.
We have a long season ahead of us. We got to do this in February. We got to do it when it counts. And I think if we can figure out who's number 2 and who's number 3 at running back, we'll be all right. I think defenses need to be ready because our rushing attack is not just Christian McCaffrey.
Nope.
It's the entire unit.
It's everybody.
We got receivers blocking down 40 yards downfield. We got tight ends in motion. We got Juice
receivers
Check out
running.
here, kicking the tails off of DNs. Like this offense is it's peaked. It's perfect. The question is how long can we keep this engine running, and does it take us through Valentine's Day? Because I'm in love right now.
all right.
Chava, I'll get off of the offense right now. All right, let's talk about defense. Who you got for me? Who's the standout player from D?
Frederico Warner. Jesus Christ, man. What are you doing? This guy, he's like 6 players at once. He's an edge. He's a linebacker. He runs as fast as a corner. This guy is crazy, Sam. I don't have his stats in front of me right now, but I'm pretty sure he got he has a sack, a forced fumble, and a pick this game. Like what?
I'll give you a sexy stat for Fred Warner. All right, he needs as of today 2 tackles to pass Navarro Bowman for 4th in 49ers franchise history for tackles.
Jeez, man. Oof.
All right. For context, he's still going to be behind Patrick Willis, Derek Smith, and Ken Norton. And he's
Those are some good names.
He's a solid 267 tackles behind Patrick Willis for that number 1 spot.
Hey.
If this boy can stay healthy, he's going to get it.
Yeah, he's going to for sure get him. If we get him to the end of next year, I think he gets him. This guy,
yeah.
we were talking about it earlier. We were talking about, what do you think this linebacker duo is as good as Willis and Bowman? I think he has reached, the pinnacle of Patrick Willis as a team captain, and just as this era linebacker, he plays that role phenomenally well. He's not just he fills the gaps in, but he doesn't blow people up where you get flags. He covers the best wide receivers on teams sometimes. He gets picks.
Man,
He rushes the quarterback. He knows all the assignments. This guy, he's a machine. And I'm so happy that he's on our team. I'm so happy that the Niners hit a late round draft pick as we usually do. How do you feel about Greenlaw?
dang. One last thing on Frederico. Last stats of the game were 8 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception. That man hit the trifecta, bro. You know, have been like postponing and delaying, like buying the new Madden game. If I buy that thing and Fred is not 99 overall, I'm gonna be so upset. But to answer your question about Greenlaw, I think I feel the same way I always felt. I love him more than everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I remember you talking smack about him the season where he came late against the Rams and he actually like played really well. He just plays really hard, man.
Yeah, he
He
plays too hard for
crashes.
his own good.
He's a great run stopper. I love how physical he is. Man, I think in this game is the one he had the celebration where he's like rolling the dice on him. It's just, man, I just love the energy he brings. And quick shout out to Burks too. I think he's playing really good at a high
He's playing
level.
amazing.
I haven't really felt the fall off from losing Aziz. Shout out to him on the Titans. I'm pretty sure he's captain over there on that defense. But Greenlaw, I think what I want to see from him is just make more of the jump that I see Fred doing in coverage. Maybe that's not what he's being asked about his position, so I don't want to say that he can't do it. But man, that guy's awesome, man. I love watching that dude play. I love how he's more physical to me than Fred is on tape. He's just like, man, he's a missile. I think he had a good incomplete breakup. I think you and I were complaining during the Rams game about how we were letting up all these passes underneath, and now these linebackers just crashing on everything across.
Yep.
You know, little picks, little rubs, and it just looks like a no-fly zone over the middle. And that's something to be said during this era of football where you can't really touch the receivers and you have to be really careful about where you put your hands. But I'm a big fan of Greenlaw. I think losing him would really, really set us back.
I think so too.
And I think he's underappreciated, to be honest. I think there's a lot of unsung heroes on this defense, on this team in general. And Greenlaw, and I would put Gibson in that same group.
In that same defensive group, Deshaun Gibson is playing as well as Greenlaw is, and they're both playing at a really, really high level. And it's not being
they don't get. I think Hufanga and Fred get more of the hype, right, because of the style of play.
They make the action.
Bosa doesn't have like the personality, of one of those guys, but he has like the performance, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the guys that are playing really well and getting aren't getting enough love. But hey, man, it's okay. It's a team sport, and when the team's dropping 42 in a game, I think that it speaks for itself.
Yeah, that's what touching on that point. I don't think anybody on our team cares about their stats right now. I think everybody just wants to win and wants to win by 50, by 100. And I feel like every player on this team is being really selfless. Even Bosa with before all the contract stuff. I think everybody's just. They're doing everything that they can to win and not just, worry about their stats or worry about how they're performing. They're really just focused on, we need to get this ring because these fans are fucking tired of this shit. And we need to just do it for us because they've been there, 3 times already and they can't get it done. And they're willing to give up everything for that. And I can see it and I can feel it from the field. It's an amazing feeling, man. I'm really proud of this team and I'm really proud where we're going.
Agreed, man. Agreed. Give me your thoughts on special teams, man.
Dude, we spend our time sometimes, talking bad about Mitch Wishnowsky sometimes because he does some bonehead things. I think last week I called out out of the bounds kick that was unnecessary. But during this Cowboy game, wow, dude, he was pinning. I think he pinned them back inside of the 5 3 times. I was.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And to what we just talked about, it's like, we're dropping points in the 30s, right?
Yep.
That means we're not punting often.
No,
right?
No, we're scoring.
And when we do punt, now you're saying that the team has to drive 95 yards against Fred and Greenlaw?
Against us, it's like wow.
That's a tall order. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about it. We were talking about it last cast, bro. It was like, hey, teams that win Super Bowls,
they have great special
they always
teams.
they got a special teams unit that makes a play, right? I think about that crushing loss we had to the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I think about just so many teams that just, the Patriots for years, like Brady and all that kind of stuff. It's like you forget that dynasty started off special teams,
with Anna
off the kick
Vinatieri,
of Adam
man.
Vinatieri.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just like that stuff makes a difference, bro. Like Moody's out there kicking his tail off, Mitch is punting him in tough situations, and
Our
I
gunners
love
are
it, man.
doing.
I think
Jair Brown's down there
yes,
getting tackles, catching the balls. Like
yeah, I'm pretty sure
a
Raider
good
had a couple of returns that were like
that.
15 yards,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like I love all that stuff, man. That's where you can tell that the team is taking like pride in everything that they're doing. I think you saw on the television cast, that Kittle was even shouting out Odom for like, his job on the special teams. And I think when you have teams that have players that are, vouching for each other and lifting each other up,
Exactly.
man, that's how you can tell that Kyle and John have earned those extensions. Like they've built a culture of men that are out here playing for one another. I think even Hargrave, as he's come in, he's an
He's
elite
having
player.
fun.
Like right, that's why he got paid what he got paid, and you can tell that he's having a good time out here, and that it's not. It's a what I was getting at is like sometimes you can have a locker room where you're bringing an outsider who's making a lot more money than other players, but and have there be some sort of feelings toward it, and that's not happening here, man, because
No,
they see the value, they see the work. Everyone who is at a high level or is in that superstar tier is being like it's coming across from what I'm reading and seeing that they're the hardest people in the room. CMC's coming in and putting in every day in practice, and I think that's what you're seeing at all levels of the game right now. And I'm just like, man, I wish this was happening not in January. you know, I
yeah,
wish I wish Valentine's Day was around the corner, because this team right now, bro,
they're ready
like
for it.
this team is ready now.
They're ready
And
right
we
now.
have a couple games ahead that's going to be a tough stretch, and I'm thinking about that Seattle Eagles Seattle little gambit that we're going to run at the end of the year. It's going to be tough. But speaking of last notes, as we tie up here, we got the Browns coming up ahead. No Deshaun Watson. They got a stellar defense. How are you feeling about it?
Um, well, I'm not as itchy as I am. I feel like our good friend Brian, he would call this a trap game. A game where we could be, just because we just came off a monster win off the Cowboys, we might come off lazy or whatever. But I'm not terrified of the offense or Nick Chubb that the Browns bring. What I am a little bit, worried about is that pass rush on that defense and just the defense in general. They have an amazing secondary. They've been having an amazing secondary since like Baker Mayfield. They have some decent linebackers, but though that front seven is crazy good. We got Myles Garrett. They just got Zadarius Smith. We don't have a phenomenal offensive line, although it has been working, and it did stop Michael Parsons. It's still something to be scared about, just because we know what it means to like lose a quarterback or have a quarterback injured, or even have a lineman that's out for the season. Like we know how devastating that could be, and so I'm just catastrophizing and feeling anticipating the catastrophe before it comes. But I'm not scared of the Browns. I think we know our offense is going to play fine. We're going to score big points like we've been doing. Our defense isn't going to let up anything. I hope we shut them out. But how do you feel about the Browns?
I think it's going to be a lower score game than 42.
Okay.
And I'm gonna predict that Sam Darnold is gonna get a touchdown.
Sam Darnold? Oh, so we're playing pre. Damn, we're playing preseason again. We're gonna have preseason game.
I'm just saying, bro. Like this team is really good, man. And I
Yeah,
think, I think Kyle's gonna figure it out. It's gonna be a great challenge for us. I think
definitely
Kyle's
a good
record
challenge.
against what's his name? Is it Schwartz? His defense is not good, and so I'm excited to see how Kyle overcomes it. Like you mentioned, they got some monsters on the defensive line over there. Our guy Mo Hurst is out there
Oh
too,
yeah,
up in
what's
the
up,
middle,
Mo?
plugging things up. The Darius Smith, Myles Garrett, like that's gonna be a tough assignment for our offensive line, who in his own blocking scheme like sometimes let things up. So
Yeah,
I'm expecting,
I'm
and
expecting
I'm
Kittle to
hoping
get
for a
zero
lot of
touchdowns.
Yep. I mean, I want him I want him in there. I want Warner in there. I want Ross. I want to see Juice. I want to see JP. I want to see us run the ball and
Mm-hmm.
slow them down,
Yep.
right? And I think what's really going to make the difference is I think you might see some pick sixes from the defense. I think that's what's going to happen.
Ooh.
Because I don't think these points are going to be all coming from Brock. I think the defense And I want to give special teams. I think they're going to put us in some positions that's going to make it really, really tough for them. And it's not that the Browns defense is going to give up. I think is that their offense and special teams are going to put them in bad situations that are going to allow us to capitalize quickly and hopefully allow us to rest Brock in the fourth quarter again. That's my prediction. I'll give you a number. I think it's going to be 24-13 Niners.
24. You're not going over 30. I'm gonna go flat 30 this time, and I'm gonna go 20. I'm gonna go 30-10. That's where I'm gonna be at.
Yeesh.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah. I think
we'll find out, man.
We'll find out. This was the Bad Samaritan Podcast. Let's sign out.
Peace.
Peace.